Hi everyone, my name is Sandra Bichl from Career Rentals. I'm live today to talk about hidden job market gems that we found this week for experienced managers and executives. This week we found 58 hidden job market gems. For those who are joining across the different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you'd like, share with us where you're joining us from. Let me add a comment myself. There you go. Now, for those who are not familiar with hidden job market gems, what is that? Hidden job market gems are the best offers that we were able to find on LinkedIn, on websites of executive search firms, platforms like Xparang or ShareHire. They are definitely curated. Difficult to find very often because they're posted in locations that don't refer to the locations they're actually intended for, or through the various filters. Sometimes they were not posted correctly by the job poster, job ad poster. They are all for senior international candidates, so all of the job ads are in English. That's a must for our job ad gems. And usually the candidate profile is minimum 10, sometimes 15 or almost 20 years of experience in the requirements section. Where will you find those hidden job ad gems? We have a dedicated group on LinkedIn called Hidden Job Market for Experienced Managers in Europe that you can find and request to join. Here, comment, this is really a group for experienced managers in Europe. So if you're not yet on a managerial level or a headhunter, we do also curate the members in the group to make sure it is, let's say, to a certain extent protected. Now, I've selected a couple of examples. This is example number 1. General Manager TikTok Operations Southern Europe based in Milan, Italy. As you can see, within 5 days, there are 106 applicants, which is amazing. It is TikTok is a very popular company and employer. And one thing that we have learned through preparing the hidden job market and the job ad gems every week for now, I think the 3rd year in a row, is that job ads like these have a tendency to disappear quickly, meaning if a company like TikTok has the feeling they have enough candidates, they will deactivate the job ad. So if this sounds like something you could be interested in, make sure to apply quickly. Then example number 2, Country Manager Operations and Logistics Austria, where German was not within the required languages, as far as I remember. And have a look, there's only 4 applicants within 5 days. So on the other hand, if there's not that many applicants, it's again a good sign to be within the candidates that do apply. And this is for justeattakeaway.com. Here, another opportunity that shows again where the market is going. So far, you've seen TikTok, the takeaway, and now crypto.com. So industries that are hiring and developing and have a high probability of being stable in the coming years. Here, crypto.com is looking for a general manager based in Sofia, Bulgaria. Within only 1 day, they already have 70 applicants. As you might have noticed, the first 2 job ads had the option to apply through an external site, meaning there's an applicant tracking system in the background. And here you have the option to easy apply, which is slightly easier than going through an applicant tracking system. So if you're interested in crypto, this is a very good and interesting opportunity. Now, example number 4, Leap 29 Renewable Energies, Country Head of Development based in Zagreb, Croatia. 15 applicants in 3 days. Usually a job market is not let's call it not too exciting. So this is also potentially a very, very interesting opportunity. So whenever on LinkedIn you have a job ad that is interesting to you, and you have the blue apply button, that means that it will take you to an external website. Here you have examples. And when you look at the link of those examples, we try to bold it here: myworkdayjobs.com, brushring.com, taleo.com, etc., etc. You know there is an applicant tracking system behind it, which means you should adapt your CV to that applicant tracking system. Why is that so important? 99% of the Fortune 500 companies use applicant tracking system. 60 to 70% of job ads for executives go through applicant tracking systems. So not anymore through human recruiters or executive search consultants. So lots go through technology and softwares. And what's very important to understand, even if you upload your CV through an applicant tracking system, 75% of CVs are never seen by an actual human. How does that happen? The way to understand an applicant tracking system, so there are so many different providers of applicant tracking systems, which is basically a candidate management system. And what you need to understand about them, that they have different levels of being advanced technologically. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is that most of those applicant tracking systems have a module that allows to rank the candidates against the job ads they applied to. And they do that by scanning the information from your CV and interpreting the information there. So they are able to calculate how many years of experience you have. They should be able to interpret what kind of degree and postgraduate education you have completed. And what they do is, in the easiest and simplest way to understand it, they look for the keywords in your CV and compare it to the job ad. On the next slide, let me show you an example. We have here an example of a candidate. On the very left is a CV that if an experienced recruiter had seen that document for the role that we tried to apply to, they would have immediately said, that person is an amazing candidate. I want to at least interview them. But when we put it through the applicant tracking system, the software identified that candidate only as a 26% match. So we went back, and as you can see, we then went from a 26% match to a 52% match by adding about 7 lines that are in yellow. The candidate hasn't changed, the experience hasn't changed. We simply added and adapted the keywords. And when we talk keywords, the applicant tracking system is very precise. So if the job ad said recruitment and the CV says recruit, the software will say, oh, there is no match, although a human would know that this is the same. So the ATS and the matching algorithms are always as smart and as intelligent as the assumptions that are in the background. Now, when you have a look at the 77% match, we added another 5 lines in red, which got a 77% match, and then another 5 lines in red. And now all of a sudden, we went from CV with low match, 26% matching of keywords, to 85%. And again, the CV hasn't changed, the experience hasn't changed, the candidate hasn't changed. But by adding the right keywords, by adapting some phrasing, a CV that usually wouldn't even be considered by a human because the software wouldn't have recommended that candidate, now they will most probably be under the top 3 or top 10 of candidates, depending on how many candidates apply to that job opportunity. So adapting keywords to the job ads is super, super important. And not only that, as you can see, maybe you have noticed the CVs that we worked on are very simple in formatting. Now, remember I said that the applicant tracking systems, there are so many different providers and so many different levels of being advanced technologically, which means the majority of applicant tracking systems is not able to interpret and read two-column CVs. They don't know what to do with information. They actually don't see information that are placed in the header, in the footer, in tables. They don't understand graphics. They can't interpret photos, etc., etc. Which also means not only do you have to be aware of the keywords, but you have to, from a formatting perspective, you have to simplify the documents to cater to the softwares that need to read and interpret the information there. So in order to know how to do that, we have prepared a step-by-step formatting guide for those who actively apply to job ads that go through applicant tracking systems that you can download from our blog, blog.careerangels.eu /ATS-guide, as you can see on the screen. And I think one of my colleagues will also now copy paste the link into the comment section so you can find it easily. So once again, where will you find those opportunities? We publish them once a week, Monday afternoon, sometimes late afternoon, in the hidden job market for experienced managers in Europe. Now, one of you has commented ATS, applicant tracking systems, exclude valuable candidates. This is absolutely true. It hurts my heart. And companies, HR managers, recruiters who use applicant tracking systems should be aware of that. And they should have systems in place that not only contact candidates that are recommended within the top 10, 15, but also additionally verify candidates by hand. Given the sheer amount of recruitment processes and candidates, either not all of the companies are able to keep up with reviewing applications by hand on the one hand. On the other hand, a lot of recruiters and HR departments are not aware of that fact. So now the thing is, let's look for the positive in that. The positive thing is that those applicant tracking systems are easily hacked, meaning now that you know how it works, you know that it is a matter of simplifying your CV from a formatting perspective and finding the right keywords to match against. So it is easier to hack an applicant. It is easier to hack the software to find a way through the software filters rather than, for example, through a person that would actually be selecting going through the CV. So from a certain perspective, ATS are more objective, and research has shown that the moment since applicant tracking systems have become so popular for budget reasons and volume and automation reasons, talent pools have become more diversified, etc., etc. So there are a lot of reasons for why it's good to have them. But yes, you're right, Michał. They do exclude valuable candidates, and companies need to learn how to avoid losing those candidates. Thank you for the comment. So every Monday afternoon or latest Tuesday morning, I recommend you check then our post within that group where you can see the selected hand-picked job ad gems across Europe. By then click on the full list, you will see that they are divided into functions. So we have CEO roles, HR, admin and finance, IT, etc. So you don't actually have to look through all, for example, here in this case, it's 58 hidden job market gems, but you can actually directly scroll to the function that is relevant to you. For some of you might have noticed, we have also started publishing remote opportunities for executives. So those are each week entirely purely remote job ad gems for those who actually do not want to go back to an office or thanks to that fact can work for a company that, for example, is not located in the country where they're currently living. If you are an active job seeker with more than 10 years of experience, of work experience, you can also go on our website, careerangels.eu, and you will see a pop-up there where you can book a free career consultation or ask us for a free CV report to get feedback on how you're doing against your co-competitors, against the other candidates that are also applying. 90% of the CVs we receive usually get approximately 50% of possible points. So there are standard CVs with standard mistakes, which again is good news for you because it really doesn't take a lot to positively stand out in this volumes of CVs recruiters and HR departments receive each week. Okay, and I think I've covered everything for today. If you'd like to be up to date with the hidden job market, career related topics, HR related, especially when it comes to HR analytics, please follow Career Angels on LinkedIn. And I highly recommend to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll give it a couple of minutes, let's say a minute. If you have any questions, feel free to post them now. You can, of course, also get in touch with me either through LinkedIn or email if you have any questions or comments, and I'm more than happy to respond. Let's see, I don't think there are any more questions at this point. So thank you, Michael, for commenting before. Very valuable and necessary comment to point that out. In that case, thank you very much for joining today's live session and looking forward to seeing you again in about 2 weeks. Have a good week. Bye.